And we're back here once again with another episode of the Cloud9 podcast, season 14, episode 4. And I hope you guys had a great weekend, and I hope you guys have a great week ahead of you. And before I go over with Mr. Beezus, everything regarding, League of Legends, as far as the games from the LCK and the LTA. This is our 300th episode. So I just want to say thank you to every single person that has watched and listened to the show ever since the first episode all the way to where we are at now. And if you were someone that ended up, watching and listening into the show in a later season, you are just as valued. So this is officially my longest running podcast. We started this in 2020, I think in May or June, actually, and it just kind of continued from there. And we'll be hitting season 15 very, very soon. And I don't really have like a number of episodes I kind of want to hit with the show. I kind of try to do as many episodes as I can of the show during the season, because as you guys saw, when it comes to like the off seasons, when it comes to League of Legends, pretty much like after Worlds, you do the episodes where you talk about the teams and the off season moves. And that's pretty much it until the actual gameplay begins. So yeah. If you're watching and listening into this episode, you got us here. All of you who watched the show. Well, to be fair, I got us here, and I will take most of the credit for it. But yes, just want to say thank you to the, people that watch and listen to the show. You guys are truly, truly awesome. We are still doing that Western episode. It'll be just down the road a little bit later on. I was still kind of formulating how I kind of want to go about that specific episode, because that one really won't be about the current week of games. Actually, that one will be kind of like its own kind of special episode. It'll still be in season, but it won't be like the regular episodes that you guys know and love on the show. So yeah, as far as the YouTube channel currently right now, we are actually working on some special stuff behind the scenes. So stuff that you guys really liked when I had my main YouTube channel back when I was really, really popular and really, really big, and I was not a cloud chaser. Some of those things may be coming back sooner or later. You never know, actually, So, but they won't be as frequent as they were before. They'll be essentially just once a month if we can kind of nail down a week or a day to actually do them. And you guys know, been going back to the gym recently. Look at these. All the ladies are coming over to your boy to try to get pictures with him because he's hot, rich, and good looking. So yeah, in this episode we're going to talk about T1 versus GenG, and we will be talking about the LTA Winter Split 2025 games that just took place, and we had a fair bit of upsets. I'll be honest here, was not expecting these upsets, but they ended up happening. But what we will do in this episode first, because you guys know that James likes basketball, and we just had probably one of, or if not the biggest NBA news that ended up coming out a few days ago at this point is crazy enough. This happened at like 8 p.m. PST for us here over the West Coast. It was announced that the Dallas Mavericks are trading Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis. I'm not shitting you. That's actually going to happen. So if you see Anthony Davis playing on the Mavericks, yes, the Anthony Davis that has been with the Lakers for a very, very long time, will now be playing for the Dallas Mavericks, and the Lakers get Luka Doncic. So,
okay, so what I want you to
ask you this: what is your thoughts on the move as far as like both parties? So we'll start with the Mavericks first. Do you think it's good for the Mavericks? Actually,
good? No, I mean, I think they have a better chance of winning specifically this season, because I think that Anthony Davis, they already have a primary ball handler on their team, and he also brings like 26 to 28 points a game on arguably the best, well, maybe not arguably the best defense anymore with Wemby, but one of the best defenses in the league, top 2 rim protector in the league. Very good perimeter. He's just all around a great player with very efficient scoring. I mean, they got a lot out of him. Luka is 25, though. That's literally 6 years younger. You get 6 more years out of Luka. Doesn't make any sense to me why they did this. Like it just literally they only got one draft pick out of it too. Like I don't understand. They traded probably the number 3 player in the league. I know Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is the number 1 player. I mean, he's number 1 in the MVP race, but he's not better than Luka, and he just can't be. He's not possible. It's not possible for him to be better. So
Yeah.
I think the reality is you traded a top 3. Literally, he's been top 3 since he came in the league almost. Perennial, like perennial all-star, perennial all NBA, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best players in the league, and you just traded him away for Anthony Davis, who is good, very good at that.
It's very good, yeah.
5, but not a smart move. It doesn't make any sense. I can see the positives to it for their team in the very short term, but in the long term, you lost out a lot, and you upset your fan base. You traded away a fan favorite. Doesn't make too much sense.
The thing here is, for a lot of people who don't know this in NBA terms, essentially look at it from a league terminology. It would be if GenG it would be if T1 right now traded Owner and Smash for Chovy. Essentially, think of it that way.
Honestly, no comparable thing. Like the reality is, there's nothing. It would be like if they traded Chovy straight up for Faker.
Yeah. Essentially, it would be that. Yeah.
And literally, the reality is, I can't even say that because some people would see positives in that for them. It's like
honestly, if that ever happened, that would be the biggest trade ever in league history. Have to be up there, because the Zeus one was very, very big in this offseason. That was just Zeus, who only been on T1 for like 3 years, honestly. You know,
my headphones disconnected my phone.
Oh, that's okay. You sounded okay. So
what just happened? Hello?
You sound fine. Hello? You sound good. Are you alive?
I couldn't hear you.
Well, a lot of women want to hear me, actually.
Not what I said, but fair enough.
Okay, so yeah, that's the best way of explaining it for a lot of people. Is it would be like just if T1 traded Faker for Chovy. That's essentially it. And people will go like, what the fuck? Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Like, literally outside of, Kobe Bryant passing away for like about 3-4 years ago, there hasn't been like news this big. Like, this was random. Come on, look, this is random as hell. This was on a freaking Saturday night at 8 p.m. It was leaked through that one Arab guy who does the ESPN leaks or whatever. Or sorry, not officially. He's one of those guys that gets the sources and puts out breaking player joins X team, right? And people were like, huh? Because that guy's trusted too. So like there's some plausibility to this, And then ESPN confirmed it, and I was like, oh hell! I always thought Anthony Davis would be on the Lakers forever. Honestly, I thought he was just going to be there until he retired. But Anthony Davis will be in a Dallas Mavericks jersey. That's going to look so weird initially up front.
Yeah, he's already got that pale white skin that's going to clash against the bright yellow.
The Lakers aim for Black Lives Matter now. They traded Anthony Davis for a white guy.
You are stupid.
You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. So I don't know. The best way I can kind of point it out and talk about it in a way that resembles League of Legends is, you guys remember on certain teams, certain players got let go because of attitude issues, or they didn't really get along with management very well. That has to be the only thing, as the only reason.
Trade away. Listen, this is Luka Doncic. If he went over and threatened to kill one of the coaches and his family, you fire the coach and get a new one. That's what you do. You don't cater to that man. I'm sorry. No, that's just real. It doesn't make any sense. Literally, I can't see a way this trade happened logically. It's the only way it happened is some sort of plot. There's some sort of behind the scenes stuff. There's no literal way this should have happened.
No, I agree. It's just the fact that I think something happened behind the scenes as far as
there's nothing behind the scenes that could have happened.
You don't think so?
There's nothing could have been bigger.
On the court, he's been known to have issues.
It doesn't matter. It's Luka Doncic.
He has issues staying in shape. Listen.
No one honestly, it just doesn't. They don't trade people away really for
No, that's what I'm trying.
attitude
That's what I'm
issues.
trying to ask you. Like, do you think there's what reason could
No,
you possibly think they could trade him if you could get in the side of
there's
the
only
mindset of a team?
honestly, it has to be collusion. That's the only thing I could think of.
Oh, good lord!
That's the only thing I could think of. It doesn't make any. This is how crazy the trade is. This is the biggest, most nonsensical trade of all time. What are you laughing about?
You are insane.
This is the only lot. I'm not even the only one said this is the most believed thing. It doesn't make any. This trade is listen. This trade is so nonsensical that I can't think of anything else. I literally can't think of anything else.
I'm not saying it's not out of the realm of possibility.
It's the most likely thing. It's the most likely. I'm not a conspiracy theorist.
Yes, you are. What are you talking about?
This with what? What am I conspiracy theories about?
The moon landing was fake.
I've never in my life said that. But the hollow moon, well, that's a different story.
You think the Earth was flat?
Just messing.
No. So for me, based on the things that I've seen from him and things that I've heard, even from watching some of the Mavericks games with him, the only possible reason outside of what you're saying, which is illegal, unless the coaching staff, the people, the management literally did not like him or his personality.
It doesn't matter. You fire that. It starts with this guy. This is a literal.
I'm not disagreeing. I know. So it must have been.
20.
It must have been. He was such a bad personality to be around.
No.
Or
I don't imagine that. And on top of the fact, it's not reported.
Obviously, these guys would have bad personalities. They probably have insanely big egos.
Doesn't matter. I mean, it's just you don't trade this man. Players as good as Luka Doncic come around once every 30 years. This is just at the minimum. It's even less common. How many times has a team run into a Luka Doncic? Somebody of his caliber. There are probably 10 to 15 teams that have never had anybody as good as him in their entire franchise history.
Yeah.
Potential-wise, I mean, Walt Frazier. I love Walt Frazier. I love stupid. Oh my god, the center's name that I'm not remembering. Oh, by the way, Chaz would kill me for saying this, but Luka is better than both of those guys. Obviously he doesn't have that career potential wise, just his play wise, he's just a better player than
if you could look at some of the upsides for this, you would say that maybe the upsides for the Lakers is that they got an insanely good player.
Oh, there's a huge upside. The big thing about the Lakers is we had nothing going for us post LeBron. Nothing. We had nothing going for us.
That makes perfect sense. You get him right now, and you make Luka Doncic your franchise player after LeBron retires.
Well, that's the only thing realistically, the reason that it doesn't make any sense is because the Mavericks approached the Lakers. It just doesn't make sense to me.
That's the thing is the Lakers weren't ever going to get rid of Anthony Davis by the reports that we read. He was going to be there essentially forever. That's what I believe. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not saying I know inside sources. I'm saying from things that
attitude issues don't really make a difference in NBA. It's not the same as league.
No,
attitude issues. Every one of those players.
Yeah, but keep in mind. Imagine how much of a problem he might have been behind the scenes to the point where a person
Gilbert Arenas brought a gun and tried to kill one of his teammates, and they were not going to sit him on the bench because he was a great player.
Crazy,
the only reason they kicked him out. Listen, you don't
unless the Mavericks. Okay, the only other thing I can think of beside him having issues with coaches behind the scenes is the Mavericks are betting on their season right now. They think if they can get Anthony Davis, they can win trophy.
I want to point out you got to look at it this way. Anthony Davis is a great player. He's an amazing player. If he was 6 years younger, I wouldn't even bat an eye at this trade. Really, I would be surprised. But if he was as good as he is now, 6 years ago, 25 years old, the problem is you're trading away 2 to 3 good years of Anthony Davis for arguably 10 years of Luka Doncic. That's what you're doing right now.
Do you think Luka has many more good years ahead of him, or you think he's
25?
Do you think it's okay? I mean, do you think his prime's going to be over? Because his prime would usually be
over.
His
prime hasn't started. Prime started around 27.
Average prime years for an NBA player isn't what they're 20 to 30.
20. Right? I would say 27 to 30 to 31.
Okay, so he could hit his prime a few years from now, honestly.
He should be hitting his prime soon. That's what most people are saying. Well, the 25 is usually not many people hit their prime at 25. There are players that have done it. The reality is it's not as often. I mean, just that late 20s to early 30s is where most people hit their prime, and that's where it starts going downhill after that period. But I just doesn't make any sense to me. I know it's at some point in time.
For the Lakers get the way better.
It seems. I mean, if it's not collusion, then it has to be somebody who just doesn't know what they're talking about. Just they don't know basketball.
Oh, or it could be this, because we know like coaches can have very fragile egos. Maybe he had an argument with the coach, and a coach was like, "Hey,
the coaches will literally never have that power over a top.
Yeah, like then they, or unless the
this isn't like League of Legends. I could understand that. But Luka Doncic, most people like when they kicked out what's his name from mid lane.
From what I heard, the Mavericks had a very similar situation like this with another player a long time ago. Did they?
Steve Nash?
Wasn't him? I think it was him, right? It must be Nash. Yeah, because maybe I don't know. Maybe they think the amount of money they're paying this guy isn't worth it in the grand scheme of things, because remember he was supposed to up his contract. It was supposed to be like what, $100 million plus or whatever after this year's over. Maybe they didn't want to pay him all that much money. It could be money.
That is actually another logical reason is they didn't want, because with trading him,
money was he on the hook for if they would have to pay him?
He was going to have the largest contract in NBA history.
Oh, you're
$320 million.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Also, keep in mind, guys, in the league, the players' actual salaries and how much money they earn isn't ever revealed. I think Faker's the only person we know makes about almost in the millions. Let's just say that,
So let's just point out, Faker would have to play 320 years to make Luka Doncic's trade his value.
That's crazy, honestly.
If he continued to get that same.
I'll be honest here. IG's team currently probably is worth more, because how much money you have to pay Rookie, the Shy, and you have to pay Gala.
Worth more than what?
No, I'm just saying this. Even the IG team they currently have right now, even that's not going to cover even a base salary.
It's just the value of American sports in general. First of all, of like the top NBA franchises, even though soccer is the most viewed sport, of like the top sports franchises in the world are American. The reason for it is American entertainment is like not only what the top entertainment capital of the world, but it also is the fact that sports value, revenue sharing, and all these things with how money is made inside of the teams with because European sports don't play ads. It's not very often they do that. American sports play ads every 20 seconds. A lot of those ads are shared to the teams, and that's how they make a lot of their money, which means that a lot of the teams gain value because a lot of that obviously you're going to make a lot of money because all these ads are being shared with you. That's the whole point of it.
Also, some of the NBA players get massive sponsor deals just themselves.
Air Jordans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's an NBA sponsor deal.
Yeah. So okay, let's say LeBron gets sponsored by Coca-Cola. Does he have to split that with the team? Or is that just all to himself?
Personal player sponsors go to themselves. League sponsors are going to depend. I believe that's revenue sharing. I'm not 100% sure on that. And then like baseball, the way baseball works is revenue sharing makes it to where the lower tier teams get a larger cut of the higher tier teams' revenue.
You're right. Yep.
So that means that like half of the teams can pretty much just get paid for owning a team.
So essentially, in league terms, if T1 performs so well and makes the most money, Bro still gets a cut for existing.
Bro should literally get a cut because they're the best team in the LCK.
Oh my God, stop it.
You don't understand how hype I am about Bro. I don't think anybody's... They look so good to me.
I'll give them credit. There's a very good shot. If they play their cards right, they could be that fourth team going into Worlds.
I think they could make it to 4th seed. That's what I'm saying.
I want to tell you right now, their competition is KT, who look like, well, that doesn't even look like KT. I don't know.
Even T1 doesn't look that strong.
I don't think they'll be. Did they face T1 yet?
T1? It's not even. I don't remember.
I don't think they did.
It doesn't matter. Even if T1 is not, there's a high chance T1 doesn't make it to Worlds this year. Their team just doesn't work very well together.
That would suck if they didn't make it.
I know Smash looks great. I do understand that.
Looks
great. But
the big
so does literally every ADC at some point in time on SKT.
That's true. And we're going to go over that series right now. So, as you guys know, what I will say to this right now, because back in the day, it was KT versus T1. I will give them that. That's a legendary rivalry that spanned another esport before it got into this one. But if we're being honest with ourselves here, KT, guys, is not their rival anymore, okay? We need to stop doing this. KT has only ever really challenged them or been better than them in 1 year, in 2018, and they didn't. Granted, they did draw IG, the other best team at that World Championship, so fair enough, and they did have the real finals, as you guys say. Outside of that, if you just minus KT's 2018 year, they've always never been on SKT's level or T1's level, as you guys know them now. They've never been even on remotely close to the same level. T1's always had better rosters. They've always beat them more times than not. I mean, not just won more trophies, guys. KT hasn't won a fucking split since summer 2018, and before that, it was summer of 2014. This org sucks balls. They squandered their super team. Come on. Back when I had a team I wanted to root for back in LCK, which was Samsung Galaxy, which later became KSV to GenG. People go, KT, Samsung Galaxy beat them 2 years in a row to go to Worlds. Even though KT kind of should have beat them both times in the original qualifier. One of the years, they had that Hachani roster. The other one, they had the super team. How in the world is that super team failing to Samsung Galaxy's roster? They had fucking Crown on there, Crazy shit. Like, KT is just a fat disappointment. Like, I'll give 2023, when they had BDD and Cuz on the roster. It's when KT still had Keen. Yeah, they had Keen. Yeah, what was it, Keen? No.
Listen.
Yeah, it was Keen, Cuz, BDD, Aiming, and another Lahent. Like, KT are just not as good as them. That's why I think T1's only rivals now are Homolife, DK, and GenG. Like, GenG and T1
rivalries are not based on 1 year. The only one that you can say is legitimate. Their number one rival is GenG because of Samsung and all those years.
Yeah.
Number 2 is where it gets a toss-up because historically, DK is not number 2. I don't think there's even an argument. They just haven't had that historic rivalry against them. It's just what it is.
I would say they are a contender only from a recent consistent point of view, right? They always randomly struggle against them. Doesn't matter what time of the year it is, no matter what split it is, they'll always struggle against them.
Like, I honestly think
you said earlier you think Hololife's the best team in the league, so that's their main rival.
Yeah, if we go back on rivals are a whole different thing than your competition.
Yeah, I would just say as far as league is concerned, that's not a rivalry.
Hololife is not a rivalry. Hololife's not. KT, the reason I think KT could be considered a rivalry is because it spans
just a historical legacy.
Historical only, not on this year. I agree with that.
No, I'll say that's why I agree with. They are not, to me personally, they're not their league rivals anymore. So this is embarrassing at this point.
Let's be honest. Like when GenG, when the Giants with the Dodgers, when one of the teams is bad, they're still rivals. Just the rival sucks, and the enemy team.
But keep in mind, what team did you say? Giants, Dodgers, or Giants, Red
Dodgers? Giants, Dodgers, Yankees, Red Sox.
Yeah. So the reason why those will be rivals to anyone who's listening is because there's plenty of moments and times where Dodgers beats the Giants will beat the Dodgers consistently. It's a rivalry to me is where I can beat you, you can beat me, let's point out
the 2013, 2014 Korean.
That's when their rivalry was most competitive, in my opinion. Yep.
It's not just then. 2018 was good. Last year
2023 was I'll give it that. 2023 was pretty competitive.
Last year, literally, it was the fight to get into Worlds.
You never thought T1 was going to lose that series?
I did not. They didn't look good. The whole point of a rivalry doesn't mean both teams are good. It just means both teams have had the historical legacy against each other. I think KT has an argument to be they have the second most historical legacy, and the reason it's arguably the biggest is because it's two rival companies, Korean Telecom and what's it called? It's just two rivaling companies that have two, what's it called? So that's the reason.
And their rivalry spans before League. It comes from StarCraft initially.
It's not even just that, it's just rival companies in Korea.
It's just, to me, as far as like League of Legends is concerned, for like nowadays, because we're talking from like back then point of views, they're just not a competitive rival for them anymore. It's embarrassing true, at this point. They get destroyed constantly.
They are worse, and they haven't been as good in many years, but I still think you can consider it a rivalry because of the historical context, because there have been years where KT has been better. It's been very lopsided in T1's favor.
It's been very few far in between.
It's like if like an older brother and a little brother were like, what's it called? Like rivals in like something. The older brother almost always wins. It's like 90% of the time. Mm-hmm. But they still fight each other.
I would say, like when you said that back in the day, 2013, 2014, 2018, and 2023.
Yeah, there's been sporadic years. But I mean, the problem is, how are you going to be
hasn't KT disappointed more than T1? Even when people had hopes for some of the KT rosters, they did abysmal.
Let's be honest.
T1 has never been almost relegated. Even back when we had a relegation system, KT almost got relegated at one point.
I do want to point out, we are comparing. How is it fair to say there's a rival to the greatest franchise in League history? Okay. It's just hard to compete.
No, I would say the only way to do it is if another rival org is able to compete with them and actually beat them.
How many? There's not many. Honestly, KT has realistically, they have one of the most storied franchises.
Oh yeah.
And it's just no matter how storied you are, you look stupid unless you're GenG. You look stupid in comparison. Like that's the only other.
That's the reason why people consider GenG their main rival.
GenG is their main rival.
Both of them can fight each other on a consistent level, and you never know how it's going to go. Or we'll just go from last year. A lot of people thought since GenG beat them the entire year, they were going to beat them in that semis. T1 beat them. Adds more fuel to the rivalry right there.
Yeah, I agree. I think
GenG has lost to them at every best of 5 they played internationally. That probably stings. Right?
And they beat them in all the domestic except for obviously most recently. And it wasn't a best of 5 though, technically.
Why do you have to do this to me? And that's the theories we're going to go over. So we did have El Clasico. No, you're fine. We did have El Clasico, T1 versus GenG, and these series never ever disappoint. We're gonna have to break this down in several different ways. I wanted to specifically talk about Doran first, because last week on the show I said I would like him to like participate in the games, because I felt like he was just being a massive passenger, even more than what he used to be. In this series, he just ran it down so unbelievably bad. He got carried by every single player. He played abysmally bad.
Guys. You didn't like his sign-on?
All right. Don't give me flashbacks. That was he just got ran down so hard. So when people say, do you count someone playing bad as diving? No. Since there's lane swaps, I know it's easy for the bot lanes to dive. So not counting dives, he played unbelievably bad, even from his standards.
And I like
horrible.
You know what I'll say? And this is being really, really unfortunately kind of critical of him. I think this is unfortunately one of his better series this season. He's been that bad this entire season.
Well, you didn't like that Jacks game where he TP'd at a wrong time.
I literally just wish it. Like Doran, I had no hopes for you going into the season, but I know you're better than this. I want you to step it up a little bit. He
can be more competent.
He's way better than
this bad.
He's
IWC, how you doing, man?
Before what's his name stepped it up this year. That one, I'd never say his name right. L name. Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Oh, Ziwu?
Yeah. And before he stepped it up, he was like a top 3 top laner in Korea. I mean, like, that's not an accomplishment.
Okay, so I'll ask you this. Do you think he's playing scared because he doesn't want to get flamed by the fan base? Because the moment
I think I agree.
Because if he starts playing bad, I know a lot of them are just looking for him to be that massive scapegoat.
I think there's a chance that T1 fans might send a pipe bomb to his house.
Okay. Allegedly in Minecraft. So this series started out with another player that's been playing uncharacteristically bad.
Canyon?
Not Canyon. Like Chovy has had many, many great years in the LCK. This is the first year he's actually legitimately had bad regular season games. He usually never has bad regular season games. He's usually actually very, very, very good most of the year. This is the first year I've ever seen this guy play where he has bad regular season games to the point where he's actively feeding in a lot of these games. He did it against Bro last week when we talked about him. He was feeding in those Yone games. And in this game right here, Faker can't play Yone and neither can Chovy apparently.
I don't think he played that bad.
So hard.
It wasn't that bad this series. I will say it. This
No,
series
sorry, not. You're right. My bad. Not Yone. Wei. He is a horrible Wei player. Every time he picks Wei, they lose. Every time. He is not a good Wei player. Also, in this series, I felt like Ruler and Duro got massively out 2v2'd by Smash and Carrier. So I will say this, and I did say this earlier in the year, so it's a consistency factor. The reason why I was hesitant on GenG picking up Ruler again is because Ruler did not even have a good year on JDG last year. Pace objectively had a better year than Ruler did. So I'm not saying they should have kept him, but this is the kind of issues you kind of run into because Ruler himself did not play good last year. And Duro, well, they kind of had to get Duro because Lehenz's contract was too much money. And after he fed T1 in that series, he probably didn't want to keep him either. So they did say Duro was sick. I will give him a little bit of credit on that. It's a little bit of leeway. Playing Elite sick is not good. Duro is not a good Elite player or Elite support player. The only reason why you see Elite support is because it's Fearless Draft. You would have never seen Elite support last year because it's not a viable pick.
You know what? I will say, I want to say this out. You have to keep in mind the Fearless Draft from the start. These are going to happen most of the time. So I think that's a big reason why people start playing these random things at the start. They can start saving things later on.
Yeah.
I think one big thing about Elise is the fact that she actually is competent. So her level 1 early game is pretty solid because with what's it called? With Electrocute, you can literally auto walk up and just start autoing them with you and your Spiderlings. And then
for those of you who don't know, Electrocute got a massive buff on the newest patch.
I don't think that's this patch. Is it
not? No, you're right. It's the next patch.
Not 100%. Yeah. Oh no, this is the patch. They just disabled the new champion.
Oh, you're right. Yep. Also, in this series, as we're going just off bot lane, I don't know what was a bigger gap: Canyon getting destroyed by Owner, or Ruler and Duro getting absolutely just dismantled by Smash and Carrier. So as you guys can see, what really broke open the game was in this game. T1 just kept getting so many kills, and the counselors were like, but GenG are getting all the objectives. It doesn't matter. Not only are they constantly getting more money in their pocket, GenG never really actually pushed the game with any advantage from getting those objectives anyway. As you guys saw, Ruler misses his you started the combo off with Alt E Q, and then he missed his Alt. It gets cleansed away, and then they give over a kill early on. Yeah, so he kills him right there. Smash leading off the game with a kill already. I don't think they kill him there. I don't think they do. But keep in mind, the 2v2 was very, very bad from Ruler and Duro the entire series. The Thresh game he had was very good. He landed a lot of hooks initially up front, but later on he just kind of didn't land any more hooks. He did a Q max. I like Q max on Thresh. A lot of people like the E max. I like Q max. I think Q max is good because it gives you the cooldown on the hook a lot more.
Listen, also, I'm gonna tell you right now. You should always put 3 points into E at the start, because if you don't, not only can you not proc your support item, but you also literally have 0 lane presence. Your hook by itself.
You're just a hook bot.
The hook is not good enough. You just don't do enough damage by itself. The whole point of Thresh is that your E passive allows you to charge it up and then do literally more damage than the ADCs. You get 3 points in that, and then max Q, and then max W. And
do you
then
think it's better in pro play if you max Q first then?
Never. I never think it's better.
Yeah, because we saw Duro, when he played Thresh in game 3, he did a Q max first. I was like, that's pretty unusual.
It's not normal, and there's a reason for that, is because it's not good. It just means that you don't believe in yourself to win lane. That's what Q max means. You cannot win lane as Thresh without putting at least 3 points into E. It's just not possible. You don't have the damage. You either believe you're going to hit every hook and you can roam nonstop, or you're going to get ganked. You're going to get a gank, and you can throw a hook out to secure it.
Also, I will give Faker credit in the series. At least in game 1, he played very well against Chovy. He dodged all of Chovy's Qs and E charges forwards. on Victor. I thought overall, minus the Azir game he played in the series, he actually had a very great series. I'll give it to Faker. He's actually really, really bounced back this split compared to the last one. He's actually played pretty good overall. Not anything bad. He wasn't running it down as badly as he was last split. I will say that Owner probably might win MVP of the split so far for a lot of people because he's actually been very, very consistent. Smash, after beating GenG this hard, is probably going to have that starting spot over Gumayusi now. he just popped off so hard. But the thing is, if T1 are going to set up Smash this way, I don't know why they couldn't set up Gumayusi this way with Keria. This is no different than how they played with Gumayusi most of the time.
I think one big thing is Smash is kind of playing out of his mind right now. If this is the Smash we're always going to get, you keep him. But
yeah,
like,
you know that's not going to happen. You know at some point they don't play good. Yeah.
It's just, the thing about it is, like, and honestly, we've seen this a lot. I mean, I think there's been periods of times. I'm like Stixay. Stixay is the perfect example of this.
Sure
that
is. Yep.
one, and I think that one MSI, people could be like, oh yeah, it was just over. He played well.
He played genuinely really well.
And he's MSI he went to, the dude played out of his mind. He was okay after that a few times, but like just completely downhill from there. I remember like me and you, when we were doing our rankings, gave him the benefit of the doubt for 2 straight years because of that. Just of how well he played off MSI. We were like,
he played well in 2016 and 17. He just fell off a cliff after that.
Yeah, but we like literally treated him like a perennial top 3 ADC after that.
Yeah. And then when I realized, I remember I had to
too much respect for that later on.
Yeah, that, and sometimes people can only play well in specific moments in time.
I mean, the problem is like, the meta didn't really shift ADC wise, so like he just played.
But it wasn't an ADC change; it was a support change. Because Aframu thought that if you played Enchanters at that tournament, you were going to have a good chance of winning. Everyone was playing engaged supports. They saw him playing Janna and Soraka and Bard.
Yeah, but he played. He's been playing with engaged supports. He also played engaged supports at the tournament.
No, yeah,
it's not like he only played Enchanters.
Yeah, they thought if you played Enchanters with certain ADCs, that would give you a pretty strong chance of winning.
Yeah. But the problem is, ADCs, I mean, engaged supports are even easier to play than with Enchanter supports. Because it allows you, and I think that every ADC, regardless, can play with any type of support because all they do is enhance you as long as you have a good support. I don't really think it matters what support you play with. I don't think it makes a difference for any ADC. If you're genuinely, I'm fine.
T1 ends up winning game 1, and then I get an ad for a black guy. It's James's favorite guy, Shaq, Mr. Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal. Don't call him just a black guy.
He is just
worldwide shipping, super cheap and affordable. What is that supposed to mean, WZ?
I don't know.
And why did you call us the greatest Mexicans of all time?
Oh, good Lord. So T1 beat GenG in game 1. Pretty dominant win overall. And you're like, is this really going to be how T1 versus GenG go? It's like, isn't it supposed to be fairly close? This game was more favored towards GenG, but there was a moment where Ruler got caught out in a really, really bad spot. I'll just say right now, the Ruler move coming back isn't looking like it's panning out very well. Keep in mind, guys, we're only just in the LCK Cup, which is the winner split right now. It could get better later on. And I'm not even giving up on them yet. They still have a lot of talent on their roster to, pick it up later on. But right now, we've never actually seen Chovy have this bad of a split before. He's actually just running it down.
I actually think Canyon's worse than him. I actually think this, and it's an argument to be made, is like which 86. It's crazy that both of them are playing this bad at the same time, and they're still that high in the rankings. It goes to show how bad the bottom of the LCK is.
Like, that's the thing here for a lot of people who have to understand this is GenG, to their credit and to their non-credit, have to learn how to not lean on Chovy's strengths, but then you would have to give Keen more carry top laners. I mean, you can play Aurora top. I think she's actually a very good champion to play top, but another player has to be able to be a secondary carry if he can't do it. Because if you lean so much on him later on in the year, a team, as we saw last year, at some point it will be exposed when you get far enough.
Are you talking about the champions or the players?
Like T1 figured it out last year when they faced up against them. Just shut down Chovy. Don't give him a few certain key picks. focus on him and just you win. Like they always lean into playing
God,
Chovi's strength.
I loved that GenG series. It was so
also,
good.
Faker has to stop doing that. You can't play fucking Azir into silence. We know how it goes. He's just gonna get ran down most of the time.
He just misplayed. You can actually play fine. See, the big thing is laning counters don't matter. They just don't matter unless
not at this level. No, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
it's specifically in mid lane, unless it's literally something crazy like Morgana LeBlanc or something along those lines. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't.
He felt like himself in this game, though. Like we were watching this game. He actually played This is the best game he had the entire split. He played well this game. I just don't know why he chose to pick Wei. He's not a good Wei player. Every time he picks Wei, he loses. I'm not shitting you. His win rate on Wei is probably in the 0-4 category to the actual toilet. He just runs to this ledge right here in game 3. Smash sees him and just starts one-shotting him. Just ridiculous. Listen, and then there's a point in this game where if they don't actually play out the team fights, this one right here, they keep misplaying team fights constantly. I don't know what's going on with the team at all. They're not on the same page. Like, one guy's leaping in, one guy's not confident if he can do it. They're like, okay, bro, we gotta get the fuck out of here. Like, Chovy goes back in, doesn't really kill him. Chovy himself gets killed. Like, what is going on? This is all miscoordinated. Not touching the ADC, not focusing the ADC. Like, what is going on here? This is supposed to be like the best.
You can't just touch with front to back. How it works?
That was actually very close. He should have just auto him one more time. He would have got him. Oh, Lord, it's fine. Wait, do you build Essence Reaver on Xayah first now? Do you? I think you do.
Yeah. You do build Essence Reaver.
You're right. They actually buffed Essence Reaver. Okay.
Like, listen, go back to the first game real quick. Let me see towards the end.
Not the first game? Okay.
Just show me real quick. I just want to see something.
Towards the end of the first game.
Just you don't have to go exactly at the end. Just let me see.
Right here?
Yeah, that's fine. Just want to see something. Okay. That's fine. That's all I needed.
They're fine. Okay.
I was curious.
So you had that team fight there, and even in this game, even though GenG did win it, he won. Obviously, could have won. Why is he here? Why? Look at the map. Why is he there? That's just insanely bad positioning. See where the map is? You see where it's set up? Okay. Come to this part of the game after he steals Faker's ult because you need it during the fight. Ruler is just randomly by himself. Why? Have to blow his ult initially.
Go back real quick.
Yes.
Go back. Let me see how this came up to being. Yeah, I want to see how this came to being.
Yep.
I'm trying to look at the words to see if he had a reason.
Because it looks like he just walks through vision right there, right? It looks like it.
See, I don't disagree with this. I don't understand what he's doing. He thinks that he has enough support behind him, but the problem being, let's think about this. If there is not a carrier in that bush,
girls right here, Canyon's way ahead of him. Toby's top lane. Keen is.
Well, listen. Let's point out if Carrier is not in that bush specifically, he's safe. He could probably get in there, hit that turret.
You would have to assume it's deep warded. There's no way you don't think it's deep.
It's not about deep warded. It's that if Carrier is not in that bush, he can just get out. But the problem being is,
fair enough.
This has happened to me in Silver. When I used to play in Silver, this specific play made me realize, I can't do that anymore. I don't disagree. What is he doing? Why are you in that bush?
There's nothing to gain on the map from doing that.
You gain a lot of pressure from taking pink wards.
Yeah, but your support should be doing that. He should be, hey, Duro.
No one should be doing that. No one should be doing that because you are going to
division. My bad. Also, keep in mind, in this fight, they could have lost this fight. See how close this is? Owner, very good on Xin Zhao, as we know from the BLG finals that we talked about last year.
You can't be good on Xin Zhao. It's a very basic champion.
Hey, I'm good on Xin Zhao. How dare you, sir?
Are you good at anything?
I'm good at everything. So yeah, another close team fight for T1, but GenG do manage to win this game. They do manage to pull it out. The big thing that breaks open game 3. So first of all, as you guys know, because I said it earlier, I'm not a fan of Chovy on Wei. That's just an L automatically. Then GenG are like, let's start cooking. Udyr?
You have some hate in your heart for Udyr. It's a peerless draft, dude.
Trash.
What character would have been better here?
Okay. So in Fearless, if you pick something, you don't get a chance to play it the next round, right?
Yep.
So Wait a minute. Okay, so he already played. He played Aurora, right? And he played. Did he play?
Yep.
He played Cassante in game 1, right? He
Yep.
did. Okay, and they already took Rumble, so it kind of does. He played Jax. No, Canyon played Jax.
Somebody played Jax. I do remember it.
Canyon did. Yeah, Canyon played Jax. So, and Bessa's already banned.
Yeah, that's going to be banned permanently.
Do you pick Gragas top? That's not a bad pick.
Gragas top. I mean, what is Gragas top? I hope them.
Dorn already picked Zion. So
listen, you don't want to play. The big thing here is you don't want to play Gragas.
Do they just want a tank that just peels for them?
That's not what Rumble does. Udyr does way more damage than Gragas, like 1 billion more. He does.
Do you think it's easier for Udyr to get into the back line easier?
Oh yeah, I mean, he doesn't. He literally
this is the part that breaks the game. Canyon, they figured out where he was going to start pathing because Lee Sin normally paths with red first to make sure he can clear easier. Carrier found him and then just started beating him. Kills Canyon's already on a massive back foot right now.
This is very
later on.
This, just so you know,
yes,
this is very normal for supports to do in pro play. It's very normal.
Oh yeah,
this has been happening since season 4. To be honestly, before. So what happens is if you are on the strong side of the map and you know where the jungler is, you as a support get to walk in there for free, and there's nothing they can do about it because you have the support that
you would go up
like just imagine. I could have done exactly what he did in that situation because all I have to do is walk up and onward.
Good job, Doran. Good job. Just constantly feeding the whole series. Good job, Doran. You're the best, man. Good God. I actually like Faker on Galio pick as well. I think he's allowed to do a lot of setup for his team. And Canyon should know this. Canyon should know that they would try to obviously invade him early on to put him behind. What's the best way of putting Lee Sin behind? You invade him, figure out where he's at, and then he's just essentially far behind during the game. He was very, very, very far behind for about a good 15, 20 minutes, and that's the most biggest impact Lee Sin is supposed to have during a game, is that first 15 to 20 minutes. Because Wukong is just way more valuable as a champion later on. Oh, he was fighting for a grub because he really, really needed it for experience, and he got caught out again. And then died again. That's now we're not. Yeah, it's not good.
He didn't do grubs for experience. He did grubs to try and get the Vita strain.
Yeah. Yep.
Because at this point in time, you have to look at it. T1 already has first blood. You don't want to lose Vita strain. That's the big thing here. People are not quite understanding.
Can you explain this to them? How do you get the feat of strengths?
So there's 3 options. You get first tower. You have to get 2 out of 3 of these. First tower.
Okay.
First blood. And 3 objectives. These are the 3 things. So the 3 objectives are rifts are the dragon, the Rift Herald, the what are they called? Those 3. My brain just fried. The 3 ones on the top side.
Oh, grubs, void grubs.
The void grubs. You have to get. So if you want to count the void grubs, you have to get all 3 of them. That counts as 1 objective.
That's 1 stack. Okay.
Yes. If you want to get the dragon, that's another stack. If you get the Rift Herald, that's 1 stack. You have to get 3 of them to be able to get it. So you have to do 2 of those 3 things.
What if I get 2 and you get 1?
No one gets it. You have to get all 3 of 1 of them.
Okay, so that's why you see people playing around getting void grubs and Rift Heralds.
Yep.
Quicker now. Okay. So this is where the game really truly breaks open. So Ruler and Duro are having a 2v2, and Ruler actually thinks he could be stronger than Zeri right now. He's not. Duro misses his hook right there. He misses it wide, and then they get double killed. Pretty much giving Smash the lead that he needs. And credit to Smash. He gets a lead. He carries the game out. He's very, very effective with that so far, as we've seen from these sample of games here so far.
Very small sample.
This isn't a bad idea from what Duro's doing. It's not a bad idea. But
so I want to point out, you cannot kill. You pretty much can't kill. What's it called? Lulu almost ever in any situation, especially like pre-6. You have a small chance, but the shield is too big. You don't output enough damage. There's just nothing you can really do to be able to lock down this lane. He should not have put him in a situation Because when you walk up to Thresh and inflate him, you're saying, "Hey, we're gonna win this fight." You're not gonna win that fight against the Lulu. You're just not gonna do. It doesn't matter what her ADC is. It's very irrelevant. If you cannot lock down the ADC against a Lulu, they're just gonna output damage, and then the Lulu is either gonna polymorph, shield herself, or just speed out. So you're just not gonna be able to kill her in time. Like this actually, I used to ban Lulu back in the day as Thresh because Enchanter supports are actually honestly Thresh isn't very good into them because of the fact that he's just a lot of setup.
Good job,
he's
Hero.
really good at counter dive. He's really good at peel. He's not as good at engage as other engage supports.
That's why people play Nautilus over Thresh. It's just a much more easier champion to execute on.
It's not even better, easier to execute. Nautilus just has more damage. Nautilus has way more damage, and he's way more. Just think about this. Thresh starts out with 29 armor, which is less than pretty much everyone in the game, and does not get armor per level. He doesn't get more armor per level. He only gets it from souls. So,
also, Doran continuously feeding, despite his team actually playing very well. It's abysmal. And keep in mind, that right there should have been insanely punished. They have no business even trying to contest that, yet they do. Blow their summoners, blow their flashes.
Well, the reason for that is because of the warding. No one could get into position for GenG because the warding was pushed back so far on their end. So that's why T1 knew they could take that fight.
I will also give Duro credit here. He messed up in lane with that 2v2, but he was landing a lot of crucial hooks as the game went on. He didn't land as many as the game almost ended, but he was playing his mid game was very good. Landed 2 hooks right there, another kill.
I actually think he played pretty well this game, and like he got a bunch of. Well, actually, he literally just keeps killing Doran. I just realized. How many times has he hooked Doran?
Too many. Let's just say
Doran has died 3 times to Thresh. That's crazy. I just realized that because they dove him in bot lane. Not even dove him. It's just
great. See, that was really that right there. You guys saw some good synergy out of both of them. It was hard to see this live, but if you watch the replay, Ruler threw down his chompers first, and then Duro flashed over the wall and then hooked him. So it's one of those things where if he had Nautilus, would this have turned out to be a better game? That's the thing.
No, I actually think that because you can't do hidden engages as Nautilus. You have to be in front of them because it doesn't go through walls. I think the reason this worked out so well.
The game was pretty back and forth. Sorry. The game was going pretty back and forth until it'll be this moment where, to be fair, Smash and Carrier were playing better most of the series anyway, and they have a Wukong, so they're probably thinking, hey, if my Wukong flash ults over to get to the carries, that's what they did. That's all they did. They would just jump on the carries. That's why you're seeing a lot of champions pick now that have great dive potential because you can dive the back line, you can just destroy them.
This is
they just did.
Literally, honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, I could have done that on Zeri in this situation. It's not even like an exaggeration. Zeri is so easy to execute in these situations because she has so much self-heal and self-mobility along with the attack speed, the shielding, and the ult from look at she just ults her. She gets ulted. You're not killing her.
He is massively much more
it's not just that.
Much more further ahead than Ruler too.
This is one of the easiest to execute champions in the game when it comes to this combo. I think Zeri, there's not an ADC in the world that couldn't have done that in terms of just professional play.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not trying to take away from him. I think Smash is really good, but I don't want to like hype him up on that last game because this is just Zeri, Lucian, Lulu in action.
This was Trovy's fault that they lost the game, but I'll be honest with you guys, they were going to lose this game anyway because they were too far behind. So they're positioning for a team fight right about here. Chovy decides to himself he is just going to walk alone without any peel. Keep on, guys. He shouldn't be in the spot. Chovy right here should never be in a spot where he should be alone at all because he died before this. Let me play a little bit right there. Sorry. Okay, so it's right here. I shit you not. I don't know why he was in this position, why he thought he was safe in that position. I don't know why he's been playing this bad on this champion, but you never know. It's just one of these things where are they not? Look, why is he peeling away from his team? What is this? That's stupid.
Honestly,
game's over.
yeah, I don't
GG.
understand that. What is he doing? That
Both
he just
Ruler
is
and
making.
Toby.
Honestly, what they're all playing so bad. How are they three? How are they 3-1
I
at
don't
the
know if you
start
saw
of
this
this?
live.
I never
Because
watch them
they
live
faced,
anymore.
like, just ridiculous. Why would he choose to walk by him? Keep in mind, like, the reason why it's worse in context is because T1 have a bunch of dive champions that can easily just get to you. Come on, Wukong,
Really?
E, or W, E, flash. There. Smash, jump over a wall. Okay? Galio literally can flash taunt or flash justice punch. Why is he by himself? That's ridiculous. That's just people are playing so unbelievably bad. And it's just mid-game mistakes too. Like, some mid-game has been good at them. Some of it's been absolutely atrocious. I don't know what's going on right now. I mean, T1, they did finish 4-1. They only lost to DK, which was obviously very, very DK favorite, honestly. They played pretty well. So yeah, hopefully GenG can step it up as the cup goes by. Do you think they win LCK Cup, or you think Team One are
I don't
more
think
likely
either
to
one of
take
those
it?
teams win. I don't think either one of these teams win. I think it's gonna be me.
All right. You want to talk about LTA? Let's do that. We had some upsets in the LTA. 100 Thieves
Did we?
upsetting Team Liquid.
Do you think it was genuinely an upset? I mean, I don't think 100 Thieves came into this season just that much worse than them. I'm gonna be honest. The big upset here is like who is playing for what's his name in the mid lane right now? Like he's playing out of his mind.
Quid.
Quid is just who is he?
You know what's crazy? He looks more like an MVP candidate now than he did last year. Like,
Yeah,
I Inspired probably should have got it last spring, but Quid is actually playing very well. His Akali game looked very, very good. The games he played this week looked great, honestly. His game on who did he play? Court? Who did he play against the Cloud9 tiebreaker game? I forgot he played. He played Mbessa. That looked good. Oh my god! Like, for Team Liquid, can we just talk about Umti really quickly? Because I know you had talked about, well, it's not Worlds. He might come back and do decent. He wasn't even really decent last year. You know,
he was fine last year. So listen,
my big thing about last year
in NA, he was fine.
Yeah.
We're not talking about universal. We're not talking about international. We're talking about
just North America, right? So we're thinking if he just comes back and he's at that all right level, they'll do pretty good. Guys, he hasn't even been all right. He's just been abysmal. Like, he's just ran it down. Oh my goodness, the play against Jace. I don't know if you saw it. Remember, he was trying to gank Jace. He had double buffs and he missed, and then he got killed by Quid, and then he gave the Jace double buffs. Yeah, you do not give Jace double buffs at level 4. That would be a very bad idea. Let's just say that. Impact's not really had any impact, honestly, for Team Liquid so far from their last few best of series, honestly. Core JJ's not looked that bad, but he's looked okay. Like, watching the series is just felt like 100 Thieves just had a better day, honestly. They just came in way more prepared. FBI's looked reinvigorated after not having a good year in NRG last year, which is actually pretty good. What was your thoughts on the series?
You're talking about specifically for Team Liquid versus 100 Thieves?
Yeah.
What was my thoughts? I mean, I think it's there's a few things to be said, obviously. I think we did not expect this level out of Quid. I think that's the big one here. He actually destroyed APA the series. And it's not even relatively close. This is
minus Umti feeding game 1. That was actually his fault game 1.
I don't know what to say about that game 1. Like, I rarely
you can't blame him for that. If your jungler with double buffs dies to Jace at level 4, you know what? I guess.
I'm not disagreeing. Like, I don't know what he was doing this game. Like, I think he had double the deaths of everybody else on his team.
Yeah, it's the most deaths for a LCS jungler ever. The only person that was before that was Spica during the TSM versus FlyQuest series in summer 2022. He went 0-10 on Vi.
I mean, that's a worse KDA, but he died 12 times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't even know what to say about that. That's just genuinely unheard of.
He played badly last week in the Wukong game. People remember that Wukong game was running it.
There's something going on with Team Liquid because they just don't look as solid as I expected. They are not the second best team in the league right now.
I will say you were right about Cloud9 a lot more than I was. I mean, to be fair, they still have the same similar mistakes that I want to point out too. But Cloud9 against FlyQuest, pretty good series.
It's crazy how I believed in Cloud9 more than you did.
You know what? I like to keep my expectations leveled. You know,
I guess because I have no say in it. Loki's improving drastically too, which I really like. He's very fun to watch.
I will say this: even though Cloud9 beat FlyQuest, Inspire did play better than Blabber most of the series. I will say that. Whippo just
Inspired. Honestly, he got gaps in that last game. I'm not even gonna lie.
Early game, remember Blabber was playing Sejuani? He was trying to take the blue buff away from him, and he got them both. Oh, that was bad. It was game 2. It was game 2 or game 3. He was playing Maokai.
What are you talking about?
It was a Sejuani Maokai game where he got the
Sejuani Maokai game was game 2.
Yeah. So Blabber was trying to invade. He leashed his blue buff for him, and Inspired got the Gromp and he got the blue buff. I was like, holy shit.
That's literally nothing. He got absolutely gapped in game 2 and 3 by Blabber.
I mean, people would know me if you watch the show long. I don't care for... Okay, it's not that I think Ivern's a bad champion. It's the fact that I would not put my carry junglers on Ivern. Ivern is a champion you give to someone if you know your jungler is trash. Like, you give Ivern.
Let's point out, the reason they did this is because FlyQuest, for some reason, has decided that there is an unstoppable force in Urgot that they need to play around. And I don't know why they've done it repeatedly, but it doesn't make any sense to me. Why do you think they do a front to back with Urgot?
Okay, so let me go to that last game, because I agree that draft is really weird.
It is. I know it's fearless. I get it, but Urgot, like an Urgot front to back, I'm really trying to wrap my head around what they were planning on.
Okay, so yeah, it's the game where Urgot top, Ivern. Yeah, I remember it. Yeah, because I watched it yesterday. Yep, I remember. Okay, so
that's the reason they picked Ivern, because they wanted Urgot to carry the game.
Oh damn! Like, I was gonna say this. If your jungler can't carry, you give them Ivern. But if Inspired is your jungler, you should really never see that guy on Ivern.
I mean, I think Ivern's good. I think there's certain comps.
Ivern for their team should be Ivern for a lot of people should be a band-aid pick if your jungler is bad at carrying the game.
I don't think that's the only reason. Ivern can genuinely overtake a game based if your team
faster clear speed.
It's not just that. He has a really good ability. Like, he has really good stats.
You know what he is to me?
What he gives his team.
He's just a better version of Karma to me.
No, I actually think he's not a better version. He's really heal.
He can see the grass, which is very, very effective in team fights.
He has a lot. He's like his own unique champion, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's a really unique champion. He's like one of the few. He has a shield, and that's like the only thing you can compare.
So let's go to game 1. This is kind of where the game gets broken open for them. It's the team fight that happens right here where the game begins. So they essentially get quadra kill right here at the beginning part of the game. So they're about to fight a little bit here, and Blabber goes in to lock him down. They bait the Galio ult out because Whippo has said that Galio is a good counter to playing up against Rumble. He posted his win rate on Galio.
This has been known for years. He's not unique about that. This is literally known in Worlds. They literally did this last year at Worlds.
Yeah.
Last year. Like, so if he's trying to say, oh, my patented, no, you didn't come up with that. This is like the most talked about thing at Worlds last year.
Yep. Also, Vulcan had a nice 4-man pulverize to continue the fight over, and Loki played very well in this game. They all played very well.
Before we go, where was the 4th man? You just said a 4-man. Go back. I want you to count that again.
Was it 4-man or 3?
Yeah. Well, you said 4.
Oh, it was a 3-man knockout. Doesn't matter. It
does matter.
Why are you doing this to me?
This.
Why are you gonna be like
It
that?
was a really good.
Winner?
It was a pretty good backup. I mean, like not like very unique, but it was.
Vulcan with Sven seems to be playing a whole lot better. You know, I will give him that.
I just think
I had very little hope considering the fact that Vulcan's ran it down for the last 3 years. I'm sorry,
not
last
3,
year and a
not
half.
3 years. That's crazy.
No. EG FlyQuest C9 last year. Yep, 2 years.
Thing he's been running it down is crazy though. I think his last year was so bad though. I'll agree with the last year.
FlyQuest split was very bad. That was just he wasn't even trying.
Last year that might have been one of his worst years in his career.
That's saying something. But a lot of people at least on Twitter were talking about this Game 3 draft from FlyQuest. So look at all the champions banned. Look at everything they have available. This is what FlyQuest came up with. I understand you want to give Masu utility in order to start off team fights. He's actually a very good Ashe player. Makes sense. Busio, I'm still really not the hugest fan of this guy as a support player. I think he's pretty limited in my opinion. You give Nautilus, okay, you can make something happen. The bot lane is not the issue. The issue is the top side. Victor seems like a decent pick, given the fact that they've pinched every single mid lane champion you can. Azir's gone, Cassiopeia's gone, Corki's gone, which you could flex, to mid if you wanted to. Smolder's gone, and Yone's gone, and then obviously Oriana, Wei is gone. So this isn't bad either. The problem here is Ivern? Really?
I think the biggest problem, their comp isn't really bad. It just relies so much on Blippo playing way better than Thanatos. And I don't think he lanes better than Thanatos.
Could you not have picked Aatrox here?
I mean, you could have. I'm not trying to say, but the thing about it is, with Ivern, you want somebody with hyper DPS. You want somebody that shoots out a lot of DPS, and Urgot is arguably one of the highest DPS top laners in the game. The reason you do that, you play front to back, you have a good front line with Nautilus, and then they have to kind of dive into your team as you're peeling back and shielding yourself with a lot of stuns and CC able to keep yourself alive. There's just a lot. The comp itself isn't bad. It's execution.
Would you consider C9's worse because all they have is engage? That's it.
No, I actually think C9's comp wasn't good at all. Honestly, if I had to look at C9's comp,
I didn't think it was actually that good. I actually genuinely thought that even though FlyQuest's draft is, I actually genuinely thought they were going to lose this game just purely off draft alone. Their draft is actually way worse.
Well, let's look at this first. Even though they don't have an ADC, they have a lot of burst damage and they have very good pushing power.
They have very good dive with Camille, Wukong, and Bard.
Yeah. I mean, there are some positives to this team. They don't team fight as well as FlyQuest. They don't split push as well as FlyQuest. Yeah, it's a pick comp that worked out really well because I think FlyQuest just wasn't prepared. I mean, what are you doing, football? That's the reality of it.
Because the only other top laners you can go for, because I'm pretty sure Jax, he could have went for Jax, he could have went for Aatrox. I mean, those are the only few that come to the top of my head.
There's possibilities that they could have picked a different top laner here, but with how they played, I think it didn't matter.
Oh, yeah.
That's just the unfortunate. Sometimes it doesn't come down to draft, sometimes it's just a diff.
Yeah, because I generally don't think FlyQuest's draft is that bad. I think Cloud9's is worse if you're looking at it from
I think there's one team where I think there needs to be a public glassing for their coach because I've seen some of their drafts. I'm like, what is this man doing? Where was this comp? One of the worst team comps ever.
Hard capped by Thanatos most of the series. That was and then
Thanatos is playing better than I expected.
You know what's crazy? Thanatos ran it down so hard in that 100 Thieves game, it just didn't matter because they'd already qualified. Maybe he was tired, maybe he didn't care. He ran it. You can tell he's better than Sniper as a player because he was doing some unbelievable retarded stuff on Renekton.
Honestly, I think there's not too much you can take away from Thanatos because I think that he's proven that he is in the argument for the best top player in NA right now.
Yeah, he played very well. No, I'll give it to him.
Best mid lane in NA. There's an argument that it's Loki. I mean, there's an argument for all of the NA players, the Cloud9 players.
Are you saying all the Korean players are the best player in North America?
I just realized I did that, yeah. But Blabber, his really not been great, but I think he's on an upward trajectory.
What
Those last two games, the
kind of
FlyQuest.
what kind of backwards compliment is that?
I
He's
mean,
not
it's
that
just
good, but he's.
you know how I feel about Blabber. I don't like him, but
I
this
think
is a very
out jungled him most of the series. Honestly,
no. I think he played. I think Blabber did better than him the last two games.
He did better in the team fights, but in terms of pure jungling,
I mean,
think
it's not even just the only thing The only thing that Inspired did better was those little camps he stole. Then he did nothing else the entire series. He got out jungled by Blabber the entire series, besides the first game. The first game, Inspired completely dumpstered him.
Yeah.
I don't even know how this switched up so much. Inspired looks so good in that first game.
That's why having a tiebreaker as a best of one is really kind of disingenuous, is because we knew that Cloud9 could adapt in a best of three with FlyQuest, and that was supposed to be the best team in the league, you know? So that you have a tiebreaker that's a best of one, and it's like, well, yeah, that's just bad. I'm pretty sure you saw that was a horrible game, guys.
Well, yeah, I get it, but you don't want to have too many extra games per season. You just don't want to add too many.
No, I understand why it's a one game thing. It was already really, really late. It's already 8:00 at night.
Yeah, plus they already qualified.
Yeah, I get it. The teams have to scrim. I fully get it. But this is just people. I thought their game 3 draft with FlyQuest was bad. This is actually horrible. This is all melees. All melees.
Well, the reason it's all melees is because they have Sejuani. You specifically have to pick melees with Sejuani.
Yeah. They went for the game's over right here. They go for a level 1 dive. Not dive. They have a level 1 fight. 100 Thieves' level 1s is better than theirs. All they have essentially is just a Renekton flash level 1 W. That's it. And he didn't start W. Keep in mind, the reason why they didn't get that kill is because Thanatos didn't start W. If you're going to do that, Thanatos needs to start W to lock him up.
They didn't understand. There is a literal monster on the other team in Mbessa. Just letting her go was your fault. That's your fault.
But let's be honest here. This draft sucks anyway. This draft is terrible. They were going to lose just based off draft alone. Yeah, melees into Zyra and an Mbessa.
You pick melees with Sejuani. That's the reason they did it, is so you can proc her passive faster. Everybody who's melee procs, the damage is
okay. Thanatos was smoking crack. He knows they're there. He knows it. He doesn't see them. They have to be here. This man straight up
have to be.
Alt goes in. W. What are you doing? You can't win that. You crackhead.
He wasn't trying to win that. He was trying to stall well enough to get one of them low, so Blabber can come in and clean up. Because if he gets them low, gets out, it doesn't matter. If he goes in, gets them low, they blow in their cooldowns, and Blabber's at least going to get one and get out. He misplayed it. His idea was good. He overestimated his skill. What?
There's no way you killed him, though, right?
Well, he doesn't have to kill him himself. Blabber would have. Blabber would have cleaned up. If he had not, if everything would have went the way he expected it to, which is he gets in there, gets one of them to like 50, 30%, and gets out. Look at him. He flashed into the wall and got himself stunned. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just saying the reason
if he eats forward, Papa just uses her steadfast presence. He could have stopped anyway. You know?
Yeah, but Poppy popped it really early.
Did she? Okay, well, you're right then.
You can look it out.
There's just no way he wins that. I don't think they win that in any world.
He had a mindset. I understand what he did, and the best players look really bad in situations because they have a mindset that doesn't always pan out. The average player look really bad because.
And you know what's even worse after that play, guys? He has to continuously fight the waves, otherwise they will honestly always bounce away from him. So he's in a really, really bad spot. He's essentially just perma useless the entire game. Like it's crazy with that. He had the most kills on the team. Loki did not play this game out very well. This was easily all their worst games of the split. This one is just absolutely terrible. They just ran down.
They come in here with a plan. I will say.
Good Lord. Keep in mind, I don't think people really think Sniper's better than Thanatos. I don't really think they think that.
I'm just glad Sniper's not as bad as we expected. I expected nothing from him. He played
really bad week 1. I was like, is this guy washed now?
What?
No.
Sniper played pretty good. I'm happy.
Yeah, no, he played fine. Yeah.
This entire split, for the most part, he's better than I expected. I thought he was going to be towards the bottom half of the split. The what's it called?
I wonder what hurts James back more, carrying MSK on stream or getting blown out by Chaz.
There's no pain in the bottom one. The last one, unfortunately.
You're a degenerate. Oh, God. So with that locked, Cloud9 100 Thieves pulled off the upsets. They are your first and second seeds for the
I'm very
LTA.
happy about that. I'm glad.
I was good. I love it. Awesome. Hell yeah.
Cloud9 looks good.
Chaz was roasting me so hard when we did our watch party last night.
They're not locked for first strike.
No, they're not locked for first strike. They're locked for the postseason, actually. So
they're no. So
yeah,
they're locked.
Not postseason. Oh my god. There'll be two of the teams facing off against four of the other Brazil teams. So we have to
but isn't it 4 versus 4?
Yeah. So we're waiting on those matchups. So Cloud9 100 Thieves are locked to be 2 of the 4.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, and it's going to be probably FlyQuest, and I think it's just going to be.
Hopefully.
I don't know who's going to be. Well, I think FlyQuest is going to get it.
Yeah, they're calling it a cross conference. Cool.
Literally, one of the worst series of all time. This entire split was the Dig versus DSG. That was the worst split.
I don't talk about that.
That game 3, and I just want to point out the comp. This is the worst comp that I've ever seen in my life.
Surti built Static Shiv and Phantom Dancer second. You can't win. Sorry, you can't win with a guy like that. He's retarded. He's actually.
They won that game.
No. That was the Wukong game where he kept getting Dova's
second
ass.
Game was. You said Surti?
Yeah.
Surti played Kassan.
The Scary Jerry.
Scary Jerry's on the opposite team.
Yeah. There's no way DSG can win with a guy like that. He's so unbelievable.
Ash Static Shiv isn't that bad.
Static Shiv first, Phantom Dancer second. He built.
What is wrong with that? That's normal.
He has you have no damage. What are you talking about?
That's wave clear.
Wave clear what? He needs damage against people who are gonna dive him. He doesn't need wave clear.
He can kill anybody with his Ash.
No, he was.
He couldn't kill anybody because they're bad.
He can kill anybody because he had no damage. His Static Shiv and Phantom Dancer, that gives you nothing.
If you can find me a single Ash that doesn't build that, go ahead.
You know what? You might be right.
But let's look at this real quick. And I want to point out game 3, Maokai, Lee Sin, Yone, Ziggs, Blitzkrieg.
Oh, sorry. You want the Dig GSG series? Okay, let me read it right now.
I just did the third game. I want you to look at that.
I lost all hope when he built that way, and then when he actually.
You know what's crazy?
So unbelievable.
I wanted to give DSG the benefit of the doubt, and I want to point out Lion Gaming didn't look that bad. There's teams that did look. I think
Licorice just ran it down for them so hard.
He carried one of those games.
Also, that's another bad format too. Like you lose 2 best of 3s and you're out. I think it should at least be 0-3 drop. Not 0-2 is just I don't know. Feels kind of just not.
Are you trying to make it a triple elimination?
It would feel more fulfilling, right? Because Lion didn't get a chance to even play with their.
Why don't we just do the best of 7, like best 7 teams? Literally, if you can win the.
Okay, let me go right now. I remember Dig were pulling it. It felt like DSG had it most of the series, but Dig just kept pulling out team fights better.
I don't know what world. Listen, I actually think there's no world I watched that game and saw that DSG was winning anything. I mean, I guess they had some.
Did it feel like it? I mean, when I watched this, it felt like DSG had a better idea of what they wanted to do. It felt like it. I'm not saying it was right.
I don't. They
did just play better as the series went on.
There was no world they could have won. They couldn't
win when your fucking Ash is building.
It doesn't matter what they build. Look at the comps. Every game.
See, well, you won game 3, right? Okay, let's go to game 3.
And it doesn't matter what game you go to. All 3 of these games are some of the worst draftings you'll ever see.
What was DSG's? Okay, DSG's is the game 1 was the Zeri. No, game 3 was the Zeri one. Yeah, the Ash one just broke my soul. I was like, you just
listen. Game 3, they would have wished they had the Ash Phantom Dancer Static Shiv that game.
Yeah, this is the game you built.
They could have at least had it. This game right here, they have literally no DPS. No sustained damage.
No damage. Nothing.
It's like I get it. Ziggs is reasonably a what's it called? He's a reasonable choice to replace an ADC.
To get Scary Jerry Ziggs because he can't carry on anything.
he's not. There's a reason. There's an S at the beginning of that carry. That man could not do. This man just is not good.
Even though DSG's out, I will give Castle props. I do think he played very well. I will give him that. I think he played very well.
I don't think he could have. I don't think he played that good. Honestly, I'm not going to give him credit. He literally had a good Mbessa game. I could have a good Mbessa game in the LCS.
He had the good Jace games last year. Remember, he got the 1v2 outplays constantly.
Listen, there are some points where he's had good games. I just don't think this series was indicative of that.
I think Castle was the only decent player. Zayu sucks. Guys, there's a reason why even Dignitas didn't want that guy. He's not good at the game. He stinks.
Who? Say it again? Zeus?
Zayu.
Oh, I heard you say Zeus. I was like, what is this man talking about?
Like, there's a reason why guys didn't want Zayu. There's a reason. He's not good at the game. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not trying to take away from Castle. I just don't think he played well this series. Not trying to take him. He's a good top laner. He's not as good as, honestly, I think Sniper and, there's some top laner better than him. There's an argument to be made that Impact is still better than him, but just not maybe right now.
Probably, yeah. I would say so.
Yeah, I just think there's enough history to go say that he's still better.
Did you see the tweet beef between Zayu and Dig? Where Dig tweeted out, I was happy to knock out Zayu's team.
Why?
Oh, God, man. It's just, I don't know. Like, a roster of these players, we knew they weren't going to get far. Even if we had the old system like last year with the BO1s and the best of fives or whatever, we knew they weren't going to get far anyway. You know, their team is not good. Their team has like Abadage and they have Castle. Those are their carries. And it's like, yeah, they can kind of do it. Not consistently. Not very effective.
I think I ranked DSG number 10 in our little power rankings, right?
Did you?
I think I did.
You had to
10 or no, I did Shopify Rebellion at 10.
Shopify. You had DSG at like 8.
I think it was 9th or 8th. I had Lions at 6. Yeah, and I still think they might end there.
You know what's crazy? I think I had Dig as the worst team, but I'm being honest here. They're not going to finish 10th, but they sure did play like a 10th place team. They look really bad.
They're just better than a lot of these bottom tier teams.
It's crazy because they play like a 10th place team.
They don't play like a 10th place team. If we look at the bottom tier teams, which I would say is from the last place to 6th, I would say the two best teams that are the bad teams are Dig and Lions Game. The two best bad
Lion. What did you think about Lion after they lost?
Lions Gaming. They just first of all they had one of the hardest schedules. I think they played Cloud9 and
Cloud9 into Shopify Rebellion. Yeah.
Oh wait, am I misremembering that?
Yeah, no, you're right. They played Cloud9 last week and they played Shopify this week. Yeah.
Why did I hype up Lions? What am I misremembering? Because I don't remember this series. What am I?
They played against Cloud9. This was the one where Licorice played Urgot and he got absolutely rolled.
Oh my god! All right.
Yep.
Well, I will say
had his only good game. He had one good game.
I remember because Palafox went absolutely. No, it's not just one. He literally played like Palafaker in this. I remember this.
Yeah, this game. Yeah, this is where he got 9-0 on Yone. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Saint had, because I think Saint is pretty good, honestly.
I don't think this team is that bad. I just don't believe in Audie. I've seen Audie for years because he's.
It's just I think he's the one weak link. I think we had the bot lane. They proved themselves last year pretty well.
You have to give credit to Henna. Henna's support is not even there with him physically next to him.
Yeah. Licorice isn't as bad as I expected. He's playing pretty well. For the most part, he didn't play that bad all season. Yeah. He's had some good games. He's not like a top-tier top laner. I wouldn't say that, but...
Do you think Lion will do better next split then?
I do. I think this is a big thing is obviously there's probably some sort of language barrier between the players that obviously they could probably all speak the same language, but communication issues are going to spawn. I think Lions Gaming looked better last year, obviously when they had a better top laner.
It's
But
crazy. Had they had kept Summit, they probably actually win the series, actually. Maybe,
100%.
potentially.
I think they do, 100%.
Oh, that interaction right there. Also, I want to say that the guy Reverend that coaches Shopify, who was the previous head coach of TSM, why do his teams always have horrible mid games? All his teams have terrible mid game.
So early game revolves around ganking. Late game revolves around team fights. Mid game revolves around objectives, which means that he doesn't know how to perfectly plan around playing around objectives. That's all it is.
And keep in mind, Shopify Rebellion is still playing with Zazel, so good luck with that. Good gosh, man. Ugh. And the format is very brutal on teams like this because if you just go 0-2, you're out, actually. Oh, God. So essentially, after taking off 3 months, now you won't be playing another game until April, right? Yeah, first strike is
it's
over in
crazy.
March. That's crazy.
And I think these teams are going to look drastically different by the time we see them again.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the big thing is we're seeing a lot of these teams before they really ramp up. And I think that we're going to go into this next split and be like, what the heck? One of these bottom tier teams is just going to look completely different.
I have no hope for DSG. I will just say that.
That is the team I'm not even talking about. They're not the team. That's not a team. I honestly thought Shopify Rebellion would be the worst, but it's not arguable.
There's a genuine reason why I thought that DSG and Dig were going to be worse. Just because to be right, I don't have hope for Dig in anything, and DSG's roster just looks absolutely terrible.
I mean, I don't think Dig looks that bad this year. I actually think Dig still looks pretty solid.
DSG's team is just constructed of just where's the firepower on that roster? Who's the carry? Who's the guy that takes over the game? No one.
The carry of DSG is the content creators that own the team.
So just toast.
Yeah, that's all it is. The players themselves are not interesting. They're not good. This is a poorly constructed roster that doesn't really function outside of really giving the top place teams something to punch for a little bit.
Patiently waiting for the MSK unboxes his lamp and TV stream. Hell yeah. Every time I look at these games, I think of ants running around aimlessly.
I'm tired of people trash talking League, man. It's fun.
League is a great game, guys. You know what's crazy? League is so fun and entertaining. That's why we can have 300 episodes regarding League of Legends. I will say what's crazy is this is the only podcast where I did one episode by myself. And to be fair, I probably should have just waited for Warren or Chaz for that week, but I had to talk about the offseason in that time frame. And I had enough people here in the chat to talk to get the episode done. I remember we also did an episode special with, I think, Tiny back in the day in 1776. So, yeah, hit a lot of milestones with this show. And I feel great. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for LCK, LTA right now. The reason why I haven't talked about Europe yet, guys, because I ain't got a chance to watch the European games yet. I know some of the results, but I haven't watched the games to really fully get through my thoughts on the teams currently. Also, James has to go to sleep very soon for work. Don't you work in the morning?
I've been almost sleeping for the past hour, so.
Oh, okay. And before we go, are we still on for Wednesday, going out to get that thing?
What? This Wednesday?
This Wednesday. Yeah, I'll be off work. I'll be off work around 1. We can just go after I get off work.
I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, but sure, I guess.
We have to go to Barnes and Nobles, remember?
My brain is fried, dude. I don't know what you're expecting from me.
Okay, I'll just remind you on the day. So
good stream, guys. WZ, you don't even mean that. You didn't even know what happened. It's just like if you watched a Telemundo soap opera and just listened to it without subtitles. They're over there speaking Spanish, and you're just looking at the screen like, I don't know what's going on, but they seem emotional. Seems pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, guys. So he means it. Liar. I don't trust you, WZ. You're black. You've been catching on to my nefarious schemes going on here. So, yeah. Just want to say before we head out of here, this episode, make sure you guys, catch the replay. If you did not get a chance to, watch and listen to the show live, thank you guys once again for, just even giving your time and effort to just consuming the show, because a lot of people do a lot of content on YouTube that no one really cares about. But for me, everyone cares about what I'm doing because I'm a freaking genius and a hot, sexy man and a Riz master. And he agrees with that. 100% endorses everything I say is truth, right?
I will never. That could be held liable in court. I will not accept that. There's sometimes you're not spastic, and that's all I could say.
Oh, I'm a professional at the end of the day. I'm calm, cool, collected, and I understand nuance in conversations.
That literally doesn't even describe you. That describes a separate person.
Maybe it's my dual personality taking over.
Honestly, I feel like I wish you were schizophrenic because maybe the other voices would be a lot more interesting. The other personalities would be more interesting.
Yeah. I think maybe I was the Joker and I was just playing all along. Woo!
What is it happened? What are you even talking about? Don't even know what that meant. You need to go to therapy, dude.
Therapy is for losers.
Oh you know what? God. You are a loser. Go there.
I'll be rejoining the Discord guys very soon. That's a lie. All right. What else we have beside banging my wife and you having sex with her?
Besides me having sex with her? I mean,
let my man go to sleep. Yeah.
What specifically?
So just want to let you guys know this. I am just being honest here because we're planning on doing some stuff. Keep in mind, the stuff we're planning is only going to be like once a month, so it's not going to be super consistent as far as like what you guys would think it would be. The reason why it's going to be once a month is because that way it's kind of special when you do get it. It's not going to be like, I'm looking forward to this. When you get it, you get it that time of the month. It's like when girls have their monthly visitor, but it's going to be more enjoyable and a better experience.
You're such a sick freak.
That was a great comparison. What do you mean?
Yeah, by the way, it's like when girls get their periods. Yeah? You funny guy?
God, man.
See, I know, this is the you know you didn't have a dad because your dad would have beat that out of you. Beat the weirdness out of you already.
Hey, I learned everything I know from Thorin.
See, that's why you were I stopped it.
Oh, God. So, yeah, thank you guys for having sex with my wife and looking forward to watching the Lakers win the 2025 NBA championship.
That's crazy.
All right. Yes. Thank you guys for checking out this episode of the Cloud9 podcast. Just like you guys, I reminded you yesterday. I'll remind you once again for this week. Might have to have James help me out with the show because Chaz has to go to bed around 8:30 our time because he works in the morning the following day. So after next week, Monday, which is when you'll get the following week's show, the show will return back to Sundays and Thursdays with me and the black man. Thursdays is going to be the same. It's going to be Monday again next week because Super Bowl Sunday coming up and my team's playing. So obviously I'm going to be watching and we are going to beat Patrick Mahomes. We're going to destroy them.
We'll see what happens about that one. I don't have any faith. Did you freeze? Are you okay?
No. I saw a lady.
Why are you just sitting there so still? It freaked me out.
No. You know how parents just dump their kids off into the deep end to swim? A lady just did. Oh my God. I don't think I could do that.
Well, it's because you can't swim to get them out. So yeah.
Oh no.
You gotta dump them off to the deep end and be like, "Oh, can somebody save my kid now? Can somebody save my kid now? I can't swim."
You should be laughing at that.
That's pretty funny.
That's not how you laugh.
Wouldn't that be so funny? You brought your kid to a pool party, throw him in the deep end, he starts drowning. You're like, "Hey James, can you please save my kid? I'm an idiot." That would be great.
We should be laughing at that.
That would be hilarious.
That's not supposed to be funny. You're laughing at a drowning deaths.
Listen, first of all, it's a fantasy world where you could possibly have a child, so it doesn't really matter that much.
I'm just gonna go be a porn star. Maybe that'll fulfill me in life. my dingling is big enough.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you kind of, understand what that feeling is like, but
Yeah.
I do love Chaz better make it up to James. That's really gay. The only Sunday MSK goes to church. I might. I don't know. I mean, I probably will. I mean, they do have a bigger screen than my computer, so I might.
It's on a projector. They're gonna have a Super Bowl party.
They usually have pretty good food every year for the Super Bowl. I'm not gonna lie. You should get a lot of stuff to take home. I might. I mean, to be fair, I watched my team win the Super Bowl the first time at the church, so I might as well go. I mean, I did watch them lose in 2022 there as well, so I'm not gonna lie. I've never been like that sad after a loss after that one. That one was like, wow, okay,
wow.
The job's not done yet. So I'm gonna go bang my wife. Hopefully you guys can understand that. Oh, do you know what we should do a watch party on before we go? There's a P. Diddy documentary out.
Really?
Yeah. Peacock did a P. Diddy documentary.
That's great. How long is it?
I don't know. We should set up a day where we make a J. Biddy documentary.
I would love to watch because this is all funded by 50 Cent, I believe, because he hates P. Diddy so much.
Yeah, it's already out now if you want to watch it.
I do. Out. Honestly, I'm going to watch it. I didn't know it was out.
Did you not see ads for it? Oh, I forgot you have ad blocker, so you haven't.
I do. Shaking in his boots. Stop talking. I'm not P. Diddy. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to be in this.
But yeah, guys, thank you so much for your support and listening to the show and watching. You guys mean the world to me, even though you're all just worthless, disgusting, fucking clout-chasing, worthless pieces of shit, honestly. Thank you guys for checking out this episode of the Cloud9 podcast, and 300 episodes in, let's get to 500 very soon. See you guys later. Have a